focus is just a seed. It takes time for that small seed to sprout and to grow into a big plant. When the seed germinates, when the plant begins to grow and when it expands, when it blooms and blossoms in its full glory, you are basically experiencing awareness. But what did it start from? It started from focusing. Now, what is the fertile ground for the seed of focus to become awareness? The fertile ground is relaxation. Focus plus relaxation is equal to awareness. Awareness has no meaning without focus, because that is where the energy has to be given. Literally, your ability to watch that tiniest of seed, to bring all your attention and awareness that has dispersed itself everywhere in the world of your mind, in the world of activities, you have to bring it to a single point. That is the starting point of meditation. When you're looking at that one point that you have chosen to look at, without any desire to understand what you're looking at, without any desire to solve a problem, you are literally providing the necessary energy for that seed to germinate and become a plant. What you are actually looking for in meditation is awareness, but awareness only exists as a possibility. Now, where is this possibility hidden? It is hidden in every single point of your being. Why haven't you realized it? Because you've not given enough attention, enough focus, enough energy to one point for it to reveal its secrets. It's like you have a plant, or you have many plants. For whatever reason, you only give one drop to that plant. One drop of water, and the next drop you give it to the next plant. The next drop to another plant. Now what happens? All of them will die. Focus means pay attention to just one plant. Forget all others. Nurture this one plant. Nurture this one seed. Give all your energies to this one space so that it can get all the nourishment it needs to become what it's meant to be. What is awakening? Awakening is the flowering. The journey between unconsciousness to awakening is the journey from the seed to the flower. It is a process. It requires energy. That energy comes from focusing. That's why focusing in the internal realm has to be developed from scratch. You should start by knowing that you know nothing about focusing. You just have to pick a spot. Let us say your breath, and just watch the breath. How much should you focus? Totally. In fact, there is nothing else for you to do other than focus. It is that focusing that eventually begins to expand inside. That one tiny spot that you're watching begins to expand. You cannot understand how this happens. That is the mystery of life. That is the mystery of existence. It is only in your mind that existence is physical. So there's nothing more than what you're looking at. So if you're looking at the trunk of a tree, you know that trunk of the tree is not going to expand into something else, because for you it's a fixed reality. If you're staring at a blank wall, you know the wall's not going to become transparent, helping you to see what's on the other side. This is on the outside, but on the inside, that empty space, that blank wall that you are watching opens up, because it is only in your mind that it's a fixed reality. Your breath is a breath only to your mind. As far as existence is concerned, your breath is an opening, it's a door. Every single point of existence is a door through which you can enter into the deeper realms. But you have to pick one door. You cannot be running from one door to another. And that is what we do in the outer world. In the outer world, we never knock at one door for long enough. The movement of life takes us from one door to another, whether we want it or not. It never lets us knock one door long enough, hard enough, till it breaks open. By the time it's beginning to crack, we lose interest. We give up. Oh, this is not the door. Because you can see so many other doors and they are constantly distracting you. You're trying to focus on this one, but the other doors are saying, see, you've tried. You've been trying to open that door for the last 30 minutes and it has not worked. Why don't you try this one? It's tempting and you go to the next one. The same thing happens there. One desire to another, one activity to another, one accomplishment to another. At the end of it, what is it that you have actually accomplished? What is it that you have actually gained? The art of knocking. That's it. You know how to knock on many doors. And that's why you're frustrated. Because not a single door has opened. You've tried the door of name, you've tried the door of fame, you tried the door of intelligence, you tried the door of beauty. You've tried everything. The door is still closed. And now you can see that you don't have enough energy to bang on new doors. Your body is slowing down. Your mind is slowing down. And that is what is adding to all the fear and uncertainty. That you can see so many more doors, but you've already knocked on so many doors and they have not opened. And you've already spent so much of your precious energy moving from one door to another. In fact, you've spent more time moving from one door to another than actually knocking the door. That's where most of your energy was wasted. Now here, for the first time in meditation, there are not many doors. There's only one door, the technique that you have picked up. And how much should you focus on that door? Completely, totally. Yes, you can experiment with other techniques. You can knock on other doors, but not simultaneously. In one session, it has to be one door and one way of knocking. If it is the breath, it is the breath. If your method is to watch the breath, that is what you have to do for the entire 30 minutes or 1 hour. Just watch the breath. Now, what happens when you get distracted? You have to bring your focus back. How do you know when you're distracted? When there is only one thing that you're supposed to do, if you're not doing that thing, you will know sooner or later. Well, I'm supposed to be watching the bread. What am I doing? Cooking. I'm supposed to be watching the bread. Why am I taking a walk on a beach? I'm supposed to be watching my bread. But why am I outside? Immediately you will come back. A little bit of understanding is required. First is the nature of focusing itself. It is a pure art, a skill that you develop over a period of time. So you should know that initially you will only be trying to focus. More often than not, you will be failing. More often than not, you will be distracted. Now, what is this distraction? Why should you be distracted? The distraction is purely the conditioning of the mind, the mental grooves that are already set. You are trying to do something totally new your mind has never done, your body has never done. But it's the natural tendency of the mind to follow set patterns, to move in set grooves. Thought is like water poured in a channel. It is not the water that decides where to go and what shape to take. It is the channel. While you give a lot of importance to your thoughts are basically being channeled by the firmly set grooves of the mind. That is why you cannot change your life by just changing your thoughts. Because initially, yes, it gives that momentary satisfaction that now I have removed some of my negative thoughts. Now I have filled my mind with positive thoughts. Now I'm going to only think positively. But come back and visit that after a while, after a few days or a month or so, you will see all these positive thoughts have become negative. The same thoughts. Why? Because they had to fit in to those negative mental grooves you have created. A thought has no other way to move other than in those set patterns. Now, there is an interesting psychological effect called the strooping effect, which in a way illuminates the nature of distraction in meditation. What is distraction and how do you understand it? How do you deal with it? You can get an insight into the nature of distraction by understanding the strooping effect. The stroop effect is a phenomenon in which people are slower to name the color of a word when the word itself is a different color. For example, if you're asked to say the color of the word red written in blue ink, you will take longer to say the word blue than if the word red was written in red ink. This is because our brains have to do two things at once when we are faced with a stroop task. They have to read the word and they have to name the color of the word. This can be difficult because our brains are wired to read words first, and so it takes some effort to override this automatic response. Distraction is simply a stroop effect. It has nothing to do with reality. You can see the color. The letters are written in blue color. All you have to do is recognize the color and say blue. But because the letters read red, your mind is fixated on reading than looking at colors. Because our minds are more conditioned, more tuned to reading than picking up colors. So unless you practice, which in a way is separating your reading from seeing, you're basically telling the mind to unlearn. The moment it sees red written, it immediately jumps. The groove is set for it to say red. But you are giving it a different instruction. You're telling the mind, I don't care about what is written there. Forget it. Just tell me the color. It's a simple instruction, but the mind cannot follow it. It keeps falling into the same groove again and again. So only over a period of time, you can learn how to focus on just the color and not the letters. This perfectly illustrates the challenge in meditation. You're trying to keep your focus on the breath, but your mind is already set in its grooves. It wants to follow that track of thinking. That is its habit, that is its conditioning. That is what you're trying to break away from. Now you can see why it is such a big challenge. If one word, 3 letters, can obstruct your ability to recognize a color and smoothly say it, just imagine what happens in the internal realm where there are hundreds of ideas.